Yeah. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't freely straight the plot. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Been east to rich when east and they still when I make it fast. But the schoolies never bet for me, my always still for thighs. I'm the horn. Niggas know they cute too, I keep out the bone. But let's get it, you know my me and miss be up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will stay up front. And if they got me know, then I, you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. This ain't I'm easy, but I hate I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get I'll keep a far, no so plain yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my reason to living. All the flu on the plane that resenting you ribbon. Next kicking out of love, I might never be willing. Bitch, you'll never know what you I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people. But you never know this name, it's Kanana sequel. Stick your fresh, taken down, so decide the needle. Put down, stay the time to line like you want the needles. And if you hate when I like the brown, it's like your cam in the ground till they come a noun. But like I'm so fresh up and do the moves confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all for you. Say you never lose stakes, it's not a hurricane. I was go always not a like a bagel, Jake your face. But I was thinking to it so when I was by the cover. And now I rain, man, I ain't like the make whatever. I say kablim, flame mine, you gave me no resistance. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you me love me now, but store never tripping. It's the enemies of all, boy, yo come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
Live your dream. That's what we do over here at GPTV1. I want to welcome y'all. It's Wednesday night. Ready to get it in. It's been a hot day. Been excited. Impatient. Get on here and come live with you all. You stepping in the building, please click that like button, hit that subscribe button. If this your first time here, I got a lot of stuff I'm going to unpack, and it sort of feeds into the narrative I've been saying on the last couple of episodes and live streams. Like you hear a lot of these crimes. You hear Memphis, you hear Chicago, you hear Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. But D.C. is one of those high crime areas too. They got their historical drug dealers or whatever over there. But we seem to always get the Memphis news, the Chicago news, the Detroit news, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, L.A. I was like, what about these other places? Then I looked on the news today. Is this thing with Trump sending the National Guard to D.C. because of the crime over there. Like I say in all these episodes, man, there be crime everywhere. And we see these brazen acts that be happening in places like Memphis, but this stuff be happening everywhere. But I got a lot I'm going to unpack. I'm going to share some of the news stories and commentary on that. I'm going to give my thoughts on this right here. But before we get to that, I want y'all to check out this public announcement. Welcome to the GP Inner Circle. What up, though, GP fam? I'm excited to announce that the GP membership is now officially active. This is your chance to step up and show your support in a way that truly matters. By joining the Inner Circle, you will unlock exclusive perks tailored just for the most dedicated supporters, because you deserve nothing less. But that's not all. The Super Chat feature is now live, giving you an even greater opportunity to engage with me and the community in real time. Your support fuels my passion and creativity, inspiring me to deliver the kind of fire content that only the GP fam deserves. So why wait? Join the GP membership today and be a part of something special. Let's elevate this community together, because when you thrive, we all thrive. Welcome to the inner circle. Your journey starts now. Much love. Like I said, it's all love on this end. You check out the membership. There's a lot of ways you can support this channel. Feeling a little generous, you can send something to my Cash App, or you can hit me in the super chat. I appreciate it. And believe it or not, all the stories that I be covering, I get so many political type of comments. Like it could be some heinous act over there in Houston somewhere, and somebody will come in and say something about Trump in the comment section or something. So I get a lot of these Trump comments, and they're just running into people just during the day. You know, somebody always got something to say about Trump, and it goes both ways. Like, there's some people out there just absolutely cannot stand this guy, and he got his rioters on top of that. So, but like I said, it could be some story I'm covering in Atlanta. Somebody will comment something about Trump, you know. So, but I want to look more into this story regarding D.C. because that's a high crime area too. And have y'all ever been to D.C.? I've been out there, and there's definitely government influence out there. Like, mostly all the stuff down there is government influence. Like, you meet somebody from there, more than likely they got some type of government job or something. So I believe there's a heavy percentage of the people in D.C. got some type of government job. And they got their hoods and all of that, but I still consider that a modern city, because some cities are like vintage like, and you have like these modern type cities. Me personally, I looked at DC like that. So my question to y'all is, have y'all ever been to DC? I didn't go through the hoods and all that type of stuff, but DC is always known to have hoods, and they had their time when they was the murder capital. And DC definitely had their time when they were the murder capital. Right now, they consider Memphis the murder capital, and they create those numbers all per capita. So, and this is a little bit of current affairs right here. So, but we smart over here at GP. So, let me look into some of these stories regarding this stuff. This guy, and they say the mayor is playing it down. Trump just going all out on this crime stuff. So, every which way he can attack it, he will. Push mute on that. So let me get news stories going on here so I can check. I haven't heard any of the news stories yet. So y'all will be listening to it the first time, just like me. Y'all probably already saw it, but y'all will hear me talk about this as I see it for the first time. So let me get to a news story and see what's going on here. So, you know, I like to go to credible news sources. So let me look here, and I'm gonna share my screen. Well, that's the mayor talking about it. Okay, the mayor spoke on that, and she reportedly is supposed to be playing it down, what he's doing. So let me go to this one and share my screen on this. Let me share the screen with the news report and see what's popping. Again, it's my first time seeing any news reports on this, but I did see my notification. I'm moving around today, so I couldn't stop and check some of the stuff out. Well, let's see what they're talking about.
National Guard troops will be on the streets of the nation's capital, part of President Trump's attempt to reel in crime in Washington, D.C., which he claims is spiraling out of control.
Good luck to you. Godspeed.
The first of 800.
That's the president of the United States saying that D.C. is out of control.
Troops arriving in Hummers and dressed in combat camo posted along the National Mall Tuesday, with tourists and children strolling past.
This is a bit startling.
The Army says the National Guard troops will support local law enforcement, and that some have been directed to maintain a presence at national monuments. But that's an area of the nation's capital where crime has been generally low. City officials say the troops will be unarmed, but an Army official said they will have access to their weapons, just stored elsewhere nearby. The Guard deployment comes the day after President Trump declared a temporary federal takeover of the D.C. Police Department.
Whoa.
A move D.C.'s mayor called an authoritarian push and an intrusion of the district's autonomy. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who President Trump says is now in charge of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, met with Mayor Muriel Bowser.
What I'm focused on is the federal surge and how to make the most of the additional officer support.
What you think you're going to do with the president? They done took over that joint.
That we have.
Crime in the district has been trending downward. Violent crime down 26% from last year, and the homicide rate down 11%. President Trump is also vowing to clean up the Capitol and get homeless people off the streets.
Homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be...
We all know them homeless people. There's plenty of them out there. They got mental health conditions going on. I used to do a transportation business, so I used to transport a lot of those mental health patients. You know, a lot of them just check into those hospitals, just get the money. I mean, not the money, get the medicine, or just to get somewhere to sleep for a few days and get something to eat. Then they be right back out on the street, like literally. So there's a lot of those homeless people do have like mental health issues.
Susceptible to fines or to jail time.
President Trump's decision
How did I know it's going to be something harsh behind
to
that?
take over the Washington, D.C. Police Department is unprecedented. It is also limited on
Most insane place that I saw with homelessness is definitely LA. LA was like off the chain with their homelessness. It's like totally shocking to me and surprising. I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, homeless problems everywhere.
under federal law. He can only do it for 30 days unless Congress authorizes.
Okay, we done with you. So far they know that the troops will not be harmed. And they saying that the numbers is coming down over there, but obviously he's saying it's out of control over there in D.C. Well, hell, it's out of control everywhere. It's out of control everywhere. I guess you didn't see that video with Fast Cash, Steve Money, the rapper. You didn't see that video. So it's out of control everywhere, man. We seeing brazen shit everywhere, literally. But I want to see something popping out of fucking Omaha, Nebraska, somewhere in Iowa or something, you know. The folks up there crazy too. They only focus in certain areas with all this crime movement. But like I said, DC been off the chain though. They've been off the chain. Let me look for some more news. I want to hear what this mayor got to say. Because she gave a little speech on that. So let me hear what this woman got to say. I can't lie, these mayors and all of that, they be inheriting these problems. They're just going to keep going on and on until y'all fix the poverty problem. Mental health is a serious issue too. But let's check out what this mayor's talking about. Let me share my screen. I'm not a political type of guy. This is not a political channel. But we must be aware of what's going on with our government.
We're not a state. We don't control.
Yeah, they probably the damn problem. Yeah, sure. If you ask me, you know, they be dumping these guns and all these drugs and stuff in the poor community. You know, that's what they do. So y'all part of the problem.
The DC National Guard. We don't have senators or full autonomy. Limited home rule gives the federal government the ability to intrude on our autonomy in many ways. I've said before.
And they doing that in other cities too?
And I'll repeat that I believe that the president's view of DC is shaped by his COVID era experience during his first term. And it is true that
Things have changed, huh?
those were more challenging times related to some issues. It is also true that we experienced a crime spike post-COVID, but we
Yeah, because all the criminals back out then. Y'all remember during COVID, everybody had to stay in the house.
work quickly to put laws in place and tactics that got violent offenders off our streets and gave our police officers more tools, which is why we have seen a huge decrease in crime because of those efforts.
All these mayors got to report that too. You know, once your city get like a bad rap or something, this is public relations. That's what it's called. They come and try to, make statements to sort of pacify what the negative stuff is saying.
We have been able to reverse that 2023 crime spike.
And it seems like every time these mayors be mentioning that type stuff, it'd be a spike in crime after that.
This year, crime isn't just down from 2023, it's also down from 2019, before the pandemic, and we're at a 30-year violent crime low. We're not satisfied. We haven't taken our foot off the gas, and we continue to look for ways to make our city safer. We know, however, as most have heard from the president's press conference, that he has prerogatives in D.C. unlike anywhere else in the country, including his authority given by our home rule charter to require the mayor, to require me to supply services of the Metropolitan Police Department. And he also has control and the ability to deploy the National Guard.
Yes, he
But
do.
let me be clear, as our home rule charter is also clear, and the president's executive order restates. Chief Pamela Smith is the chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, and its 3,100 members work under her direction. The Home Rule Charter requires the mayor to provide the services of MPD during special conditions of an emergency, and we will follow the law. Though there's a question about the subjectivity of that declaration. In fact, the chief has already provided a high-level.
Okay, that's enough for the mayor right there. So I want to know what type of crime be popping off in D.C. I really do. Let me get some music going on here. So that was the mayor of D.C. She started talking more into politics and all that type stuff, but this guy got certain authorities. And he going after these criminals. He don't like street people. Yeah, he just don't like street people. So he took over D.C. and got those troops walking around there. But according to the mayor, crime is down there. I think that's public relations. Because, there's a lot of bad news out there. And again, I stated that I don't see these gun trafficking people getting called up on RICO charges. I really don't. And this guy, he's not mentioning nothing about that. Literally. But let's find some more news stuff, what they saying about. I really want to see what the residents saying from down there. You feel like there's a lot of crime out there? You feel like DC is out of control? Well, hell, it's out of control everywhere. You're trying to clean this joint up. Okay, let me go back. Who was that? The mayor We started talking some political type stuff. So let me go back and see what other people are saying about this. That was a day ago. Let me see something that was more recent. D.C. residents on crime in the city and concerns over National Guard presence. It's like a short. Okay. Takeover ramps up. Let's check out and see what Fox talking about. This is like
today. As you know, President Trump making an announcement at the Kennedy Center earlier this morning. Remember, he serves as the interim board chairman at the Kennedy Center, and he was announcing this year's honorees. We'll get to that. He's also fashioning his image on.
Let me move up.
A move Democrats are calling authoritarian.
We all know that Donald Trump loves to rewrite and erase parts of history he doesn't like. It's downright Orwellian.
The White House insists this review is simply to erase
quote unquote beautifying, and I'm more down the middle, and certainly
I want to hear about
to Lonnie Bunch. She's the secretary.
Something to that
enhanced presence on the streets there of federal law enforcement.
I have, Andrew, and I'll be forthright with the audience. I was actually on vacation last week, so I missed those first several deployments of federal assets late Thursday and Friday night here in the district ahead of this big announcement Monday morning regarding the full federalization of MPD and the deployment of National Guard troops. But I mean, I'm going to be honest. I told my wife this when I was driving back from the White House. You know, I hadn't really necessarily seen as many law enforcement officers north of the monuments and some of these hotspot areas as you might expect. But Wednesday, there were police cars, there were black federal SUVs lining my entire 20-minute drive downtown to just north of the White House. So it does seem like there will be an expanded law enforcement presence. And the White House is already touting a number of arrests. They've made more than 100 since last Thursday when these federal assets were first.
Yeah, I did see that report that they arrested a lot of people down there too. I want to know what they get arrested.
Putting their boots on the ground. And I do want to make sure it's kind of important to note, the president can legally do all of this because of DC's Home Rule Act. But
that's one thing about Trump this time around. He's trying to make sure he stick to the book.
Suggestion that he could expand these policies to cities like New York or Chicago, perhaps even an expanded presence in Los Angeles beyond those National Guard troops that he deployed there earlier this summer. This is a cause for concern because once you start overstepping your bounds of the federal government using, again, potentially military assets as a police force, you're subverting the sovereignty of not only these municipalities, but these states. And I do think that Democratic lawmakers have a point when they say the president is towing a very thin line right now. He's within his rights when it comes to what he's doing in Washington, but I think the rhetoric he's using, perhaps intentionally to try and get a reaction out of Democrats, I mean, I think we have to take him at his word and say, let's pump the brakes here because we're on the verge of something very different in this country.
So I have to ask, I mean, D.C. officials, how are they responding to this? We've noted, you just noted.
That's what I want to know.
The president does have the latitude and the leeway and the authority to do this. That gets a little grayer if he does want to extend it. I believe he does need authorization from Congress to do that. He said he didn't necessarily need Congress's approval earlier today at this press conference. But how are they responding?
There's certain things you can do. You got certain powers.
Do they feel like it's needed? Are they welcoming this or are they pushing back? Is there any effort to push back on this from Mayor Bowser, Senate, House Democrats?
I would say that Mayor Bowser is perhaps receiving this the most warmly of any Democrat in the country, and she is in a unique position. We've seen her work with this administration much more closely than the Trump 1.0 White House. You can remember the tension between the president and the mayor back.
Okay, that's enough for y'all. He got some authority. He may do that in other cities. What if Trump come to your city and federalize the police department. And he had a National Guard down there doing police work. He got the authority to go to some cities. If he pushing the line, it's going to be some pushback because these cities don't like the government just coming in, they towns or whatever, and just taking over. But what if he come to your city, federalize your police department? What would that do for the street folks? You'll see the street folks out there protesting. That these gang members riding up on each other and straight up having fireworks. They're gonna be out there with picket signs. We got to get this guy out of here. That'll politicize gang members. We get on here, we tell these cautionary tales, we cover these crime stories, and we offer intervention. And so many times, there's so many stories looking at court cases, and people just don't have no remorse. And then we got to come on our platforms and show condolences to people we don't even know. It's street crime or trickle-down effect to politics. Got to. It's too much poverty, and all this shit is set up by design, in my opinion. Some people got some real mental health issues. Maybe some of these gang members. Bipolar, get no treatment. I saw another story by this guy named T Hood, another rapper who got killed. And that's talk about a lot of murder on a lot of these episodes and unaliving. Apparently, his girlfriend's brother or brothers killed him. Being caught up in his sister's mess with the domestic violence type stuff. And I learned a long time ago, man, stay out of my sister and them stuff, because they probably be with the person the next day. I've been through that myself with my sister. I learned a long time ago, stay out of that mess. Because a lot of times, the doggone sister actually started the mess. That happens a lot of times. But back to this D.C. stuff. With this guy Trump, takeover of D.C. Not a political channel. But some of these other places, it's high crime areas, like DC. It ain't just Chicago. It's not just Memphis. It's not just Detroit. It's not just Houston. It's not just Dallas. And so many cases come out of Florida. Man, you see so many cases come out of Florida. Say them folks crazy down there. It's crazy because I want to move down there. I want to move to Florida. I told my son that just the other day. Just yesterday, matter of fact. I said, son, we need to be down there in Florida. But they got a lot of cases that come out of Florida. And this is proof right here by the president himself, saying it is out of control in D.C. Even though the mayor professed that crime is down. No, that's just the people y'all caught. Y'all just ain't catching everybody. Everybody ain't getting caught for their crime. That's a hard job. try to contain crime. Some people just live for it. That's why I got that new playlist. Y'all need to go check that out. The Underbelly of Wealth. Those people, boy, they be scamming for millions. A lot of those people getting away with it. A lot of them people get away with it. So, and that was always part of the street stuff. So scamming was always around. Y'all need to go check that out. I just dropped a new episode. Y'all can check that out. My Fast Cash. We dropping content on here. But you heard it from the president himself. D.C. Got a lot of crime going on over there. He could possibly come to your city and federalize your police department. I want to know y'all thoughts on that. Y'all in the building, click that like button. It's your first time here, click the subscribe button. Let's check out some of this reaction to this. Share my screen. Check out some of this reaction to the takeover in D.C.
Welcome back. National Guard troops patrolling Washington, D.C. Critics of the president's federal takeover of the nation's Capitol Police Force have described it many ways. Political ploy, authoritarian push, blatantly racist. Two journalists who've been very closely following all the developments in this crackdown on crime, as it's been called. Notice, remember, that's News of the U.S. reporter Oriana Gonzalez and national political correspondent for Politico, Braxton Booker. Braxton, break it down from your perspective, your reporting, who you've talked to, what the reaction has been, how it is being absorbed in the nation's capital itself, as opposed to how it's being described at the podium.
Right now, how it's being absorbed in the nation's capital. The mayor, Muriel Bowser, who's in her third term, seems to be taking this in stride. While there's no reason to have federal troops in the city, that the police force in D.C. is more than capable of handling crime in the city, and that is going down. And she said that she actually welcomes the help, saying that, hey, if
calculating that it is riskier to pick a fight over this with the president.
Absolutely. She has, over the course of Trump's return to the White House, has been taking a far less adversarial approach, shall we say, than she did in the first term. She went to Mar-a-Lago before he was inaugurated, trying to have some good graces with him, and they worked together to bring the Washington Commanders back to the city. So this, I think, blindsided her, but she's like, look, I can pick a fight with the president, or we can work this out for the 30 days that the federal troops may be in D.C., and we'll see where it goes from there.
That's the magic.
This is some of the reaction to the takeover in D.C.
Number 30 days, but the president gave voice today to extending that if Congress goes ahead. There are a lot of hurdles there, but that suggests that he wants this to continue beyond 30 days. That could be a complication for the city council and the mayor and everyone who lives here, myself included.
Absolutely, and it would be a complication also for him because he needs authorization from Congress in order to be able to do this. A joint resolution would need 2/3 of a vote in both chambers to pass. Democrats are not going to allow that.
And of course, that's the performative part.
Not at all.
Democrats are pro-crime. If they weren't, they'd vote with me to try to create this juxtaposition. And Braxton, I want to talk to you about another component of this. When the president name checks
the Democrats ain't voting on nothing he's talking about.
Cities that had a problem. What names did he use? Washington, Baltimore, Chicago, Oakland.
All of them
thematically described.
Yeah, Oakland be off the chain too. We don't see a lot of news reports when it comes to Oakland, but they be off the chain over there.
Describe for my audience what that represents.
Well, not
pretty city.
Just are they big liberal cities? They're also cities run by black elected officials. These are all black-run cities by black mayors, have large black representation on the city councils. So the thinking is, or the challenge is for him, is he's saying like, look,
all black mayors he's going after.
You know what's happening in these cities. these officials cannot run it, and I have to come in and save them. And I mean, he used the term Liberation Day to say that, hey, we are coming to rescue the residents of D.C. from this crime-infested area. And they're also...
That's the president. What did he say about D.C.? This crime-infested area.
Leaving youths in the youth. That was the interesting part, especially from Judge.
I may be laughing, but you know, I'm not with all that crime stuff. So.
Janine Pirro, who said, like, look, I can't even prosecute some of these people because they're minors. That's why the DC Council needs to change the law so I can go after these people who are wielding guns. So it's making it seem like all these youth who live in DC, a large black population, that they are the ones that are making the city so dangerous. And even the Trump administration is hamstrung from going after them.
Oriana, based on your reporting, what should we watch for in the next couple of weeks?
I mean, it's clear here that he is targeting or is interested in going after blue cities and blue states, might I add. I actually, a few of my colleagues at Notice reported that they talked to the mayor of Kansas City. He's
going after the blue cities.
Not worried. Why? Because it's a
That's intriguing right there. That's very intriguing. I'm glad I played this video.
red state. Those are not the cities that Trump is interested in. We already saw the National Guard going into Los Angeles. He has a very particular target, and those are exactly the cities that you were mentioning, the ones that he mentioned, Baltimore, Oakland, the ones that have been the most outspoken against the president.
And we had Kennedy Center honorees.
Oh, okay.
And the president said he's going to be the host. Wow.
It's going to be make for some
Now, the honorees are not outside of the scope of...
That's intriguing. That's very intriguing. Well, y'all heard that. We're going after the blue cities with predominantly black mayors, black city councils, and going after black youth. At least that's their analysis to this. I'm going to let y'all let that sink in with y'all. Like, literally. That's some deep stuff right there. We must all think about it. And I want to know y'all thoughts on this. This is GPTV1 live stream. It's Wednesday. Getting it in. And I'm ready to sign off right here. This is very intriguing. I got to look more into this. Current affairs. Maybe coming to your city. Your city is a blue city. Black mayor. Black city council. Black youth. Thinking about coming to your town. Y'all stay blessed out